you know, I was trained to be Rogerian, and I was trained in Vancouver, and everyone was into Gestalt and Rogers, right? You know, I was interested in emotion. I mean, I was Les Greenbow's graduate student. I was a pretty weird graduate student. I was not your average graduate student. I was doing my own thing. Okay, that was just my thing. So when I look back on it, I was a bizarre graduate student. Okay, and I was on fire. I was nuts actually when I look on it now. But so you know, I was into emotion, and I was going to all these classes in clinical psych as well as counseling psych, because I could double the amount of courses for my PhD. That shows you how nuts I was. I was nuts, okay? I was just nuts. So, and I was going to every course that was offered in every damn department: social work, clinical psych, you know, counseling. I was in counseling, and the clinical psych was in the most rigorous. But they would sit there and say stupid stuff like, you know, oh, well, you've got to get people out of their emotions because emotions are just part of the problem. And what you do is you create cognitive change. And all the students would clap, you know, and I would stand up at the back and say, sorry, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. Why don't you use emotion? It's the most powerful thing in the room. And, you know, so I was into that. But what really kick-started it was I was in a clinic, my last clinical assignment. I went into this agency, and they were having a whole bunch of people sick, and they gave me all these terribly distressed couples. And I thought I was pretty hot therapist, and my God, I couldn't do a thing with it. I was like, what the hell? And I went to the literature, and everything was pretty ridiculous. You know, it was behavioral stuff. You make a contract with them to be nicer to each other. Well, that didn't work. Oh, you go into you're analytic. You go and talk to them about their past forever and give them insight. That didn't work. So I was totally stuck. And so what I started doing, thank God, which when you think about it is the ultimate of a belief in empiricism. It was not just that I believe in science, I believe in being empirical, you know, staying with the data in front of your face, which is what John Bowlby did. I started taping all my sessions, and I'd watch them again and again and again and again and again. And so when people say to me, who taught you EFT? Rogers had a big impact, Pearls had a big impact. You know, the West Coast and Vancouver and all its emphasis on emotion had a big impact. But in the end, my couples taught me EFT, because I'd watch and I'd say, oh my God, look at that pattern. Oh my God, the emotions are the same. There's a structure to the emotions. There's a structure to the relationship. Oh my God, why isn't anyone writing about this? And then I started doing things, and I saw that some things worked and some things didn't. And that morphed, because I was completely insane, into a treatment outcome study, which, you know, I mean, when I look back on it, I don't know where I was. I was in the ozone somewhere, and then the damn thing worked like mad. I thought, my God, this stuff works. So then I was completely, totally hooked